But just for the youngins, if you happen to be watching my channel, if you can hear the sound of my voice, right? Whenever a woman announces, if she has to actually label herself celibate, if she it's one thing if someone's on a spiritual journey and on that spiritual journey they're not talking to men or they're not around the opposite sex or not around or not taking on sexual partners. Because the thing about celibacy, the reason why it's relevant is because women will say they're celibate, but they still want male attention. They still want you to talk to them. I never forget when me and my ex first broke up and everything. I was just kind of trying to keep the energy going, and I had thought about this girl, and it was two of them, and I met them at the same time, and then I forgot their names. All right, and I could only like kind of vaguely remember their name, and I messaged the wrong one. I'm like, oh fuck, I'm talking to the wrong one. So anyway, so we would talk, we would just text a little bit here and there. I sent her a voice note here and there. We talk a little bit, and I wasn't super interested, really, be honest with you. But it was like, all right, well, it's there. I mean, just for the sake of keeping the algorithm going, keeping energy going and whatnot. You never know, right? So we was talking. I think I was flirting with her, and I said something. No, I was flirting with her, right? And like, then she starts acting weird, and then she's now, mind you, we grown. I'm sorry, like when we're grown people, I don't have no patience for you not knowing how to flirt. I don't got no because really a lot of people will mask not being good at communication, not being good at flirting, not being good at male female interaction. Because this person in particular, I never forget talking to this person. Now, mind you, I met this girl on Hinge years ago, and the only mind you, she was moving away the next day, but she still wanted to talk on the phone. So we was talking and whatnot, right? And it just wasn't a conversation. Like she really got on the phone with me and let me ask her questions and didn't have a back and forth with me at all. That fact, it wasn't like when I was calling her, it was almost like it was like she was doing the interview for a podcast or some shit. Like she was talking to me as if like she was like a celebrity that was on a podcast that she didn't want to be on. Like, cause somehow the conversation was so terrible that it wound up just being me asking a series of questions, and she never drove the conversation whatsoever. She also decided to talk to me while she was driving, doing whatever she was doing, which was like weird. It was fucking weird. But anyway, fast forward to 2023. So I think I said something to her, and then she tells me that she's celibate and everything. And I'm like, my nigga, I know your big ass at your big age because she was in her 30s. Now, mind you, I'm not saying that she's washed or nothing like that just because you're in your 30s, but I'm just saying you are grown and you are not a virgin. That like no man could hear you tell him that shit and think this is worth waiting for. First of all, like you celibate until what? And also, how is that useful to me? If you are celibate, that's the same. That shit is the same as a man saying you meeting the man and he done got his head shaved. And mind you, you met him and saw his profile. My man dipped, got the high ball fade, you know what I mean? Nice fit. Then you meet him in person. This nigga's wearing a robe. He got his head shaved. He might have the airbender tattoo on his forehead. And he tells you, hey, matter of fact, you may ask him, hey, can we like get something to eat? And he tells you, oh, nah, actually, I actually just became a monk. I'm actually in monk mode. I became an actual fucking monk, and as a monk, I don't have a job. And now, mind you, I'm someone who can make money, but I become a monk, a jobless monk, damn near for the sake of fucking with you. Because for the most part, you being celibate for the most part, yeah, it's supposed to be a spiritual thing, but women be talking about being celibate for the sake of fucking with men. Because this is only relevant to the dude in front of you. It's not something that anyone needs to know. Like, if you're celibate, I would think that would be kind of a private thing. No, instead, y'all be wanting people to know. If that's the case, like I said before, if you are in that bag, which is fine, right? Don't be talking to men. Don't even respond to men because you not fucking. And I was just so offended that she really thought that you think I'm gonna marry you? You think yo, get the fuck out of here. And on top of that, just given what I knew about her and my experience with her, let me tell you something. Women do that shit because they are such. That usually means that they are such terrible people. Because what women do is there's always some kind of bait and switch routine or scheme going on. They're always trying to kind of reel you in, get you comfortable, and then they'll let you see who they really are. Right? So women who talk about being celibate, and let's say she is talking to you, let's say she's able to get you to marry her and whatnot. The more women do stuff like that, they do that to get you locked in, to get you fully invested, so that you're so fully invested that you feel like, yo, I really can't turn back now. No, the wheels are in motion now. Women who are confident in who they are, I'm not saying that they're going to have sex with you right away or nothing like that. But at the same time, women who are happy, confident, shit like that, they never claim the title of being celibate, or they never make an announcement that they're celibate, because whose business is it what you doing with your coochie? But bigger than that, Maya is a musical artist, and people sleep on the fact that she has claimed several outlandish things over the years, or has made several lifestyle choices over the years that have kept her viral. Like when she was supposed to be doing all this by being vegan. People who are long term vegans usually look fucking crazy. It break my heart. I see this girl. She's like an influencer on social media. She dead ass does not post anything, any recent pictures. I don't know. Who knows? Maybe she's on an antidepressant medicine that's putting weight on her. Maybe. Let me ask you: do some mental health medicines make you gain weight? Okay, so it says yes. Now again, it's AI, so we don't know how true it is, but it says yes, some mental health medications, including certain antipsychotics, antidepressants, and mood stabilizers, can cause weight gain through various mechanisms like increased appetite, altered metabolism, or sedation. While not all medications in these classes are equally likely to cause weight gain, some people may not experience it at all, but it is a common side effect to be aware of. So, you know what? I be seeing someone, yo, and I've seen them like gain like a lot of weight that just seemed like unnatural, like a lot of weight. And I was like, you know what? They must be on an antidepressant. Anyway, I'm kind of getting off subject. But anywho, but yeah. So I always see this girl, and I see her at the gym from time to time. And mind you, when I was young, when I was in my 20s, like when I first met her, she was in incredible shape, and she was like an influencer, and that's when she first was kind of like promoting herself as this vegan and this vegan bodybuilder and whatnot, right? And over the years, like it was one point where like, yo, she was in such good shape that she had fucking biceps and she was like lean out of her mind. And I'm not really sure what happened exactly, but now that I understand more about how certain when you see certain bodies, like understanding when you're looking at an unnatural body. So women, it doesn't really matter what they do unless they're gymnasts and they do a lot of pull-ups maybe. Women don't really get biceps. If you see a girl having like biceps and stuff like that, a lot of times that's overdevelopment. Women have to work their ass off to develop any kind of like muscles in their arms. You understand? Because women don't have natural arm strength. But anyway, what I've deduced is that when she was in that really prime like body fat percentage, where she had that low body fat and she looked mad lean, she was on gear. Like I could see it in the old pictures now. Like, I said, oh, she was on gear, right? And what probably happened was she stopped being able to afford that shit, and she stopped taking it. Now, mind you, I bring her up because like, yo, because she's vegan, and for a lot of people, right, once they've been vegan for a super long time, they're not able to like get in shape on a vegan diet, and they don't really realize that, yo, that you've lost your actual shape. You're mad bloated, you know what I mean? You gain mad weight, and sometimes it's tough to understand that shit because you think that something's working for you. It's like for a long time, yo, one of the reasons why I lost weight was because of going on a higher carb diet, which seems counterintuitive, but going on a higher carb diet made it possible for me to do way more walking. Actually, I'm probably more busy and more active than I've ever been in my life, from walking to working, everything. You know what I'm saying? But that's because I get the proper amount of carbs, and I can even feel the difference when I'm not getting the right amount of carbs. But anywho, vegans. So I bought it up because again, she's probably not really. If someone looks really healthy and full figure, they're not a long term vegan because that person's not getting no protein, and also they're not getting the same quality of rest when they go to sleep because again because of the quality of the protein that you do consume. All right. So anyway, I know I kind of rambled a little bit too long with that, but so I haven't watched this yet, so we can react to it together. This is Melyssa Ford with one more boring interview. Just this, like she just goes after low hanging fruit. So she done found Maya, who was also an attractive woman that's at the same age, don't have no man, no kids, right? And what they're doing is really just bullshitting you, really just fucking lying. Real talk, ain't nothing worse than a lonely old woman. Like these are actually two lonely old women. Now again, they under bright lights. They both can afford good makeup. They got nice bodies, but these are two lonely old women. Now, no matter what women do, don't ever fall for these stories. Don't ever fall for these games, fam. They are both very lonely. Melyssa Ford just got done doing a show where she's surrounded by men. That's how badly she wants some male attention. That she chose to do a show where it's just nothing but men in the room. And that is the only way that you can get consistent male attention without there being any taking or anyone, having to penetrate her. You understand? Oh no.
That is the object of so many men's desire, and you probably have the pick of the litter, which is another thing that they assume. Wow. Yeah, girl, I know.
It's not even my focus, and it never has been. My mother's an independent thinker. I've witnessed a divorce, between my parents. I've witnessed all kinds of things. My father is a very attractive man. I've witnessed a lot of things. And it's also not been a safe place in my mind as a little girl. So I've always thought a little different. The white wedding dress, I was very fearful of those things. I looked elsewhere and probably escaped too much in my work and keep going. But also, I think being independent has forced me to show up for myself and obviously family, friends, and this operation because I have a mission and I have a vision, but it requires me to be gone.
Wondering how a woman as stunning as you are, that is the object of so many men's desire, and you probably have the pick of the litter, which is another thing that they assume. Wow. Yeah, girl, I know.
It's not even.
Listen, shout out to Maya because Maya is actually keeping it in a stack, and she's not really necessarily trying to make it sound like she's styling on men necessarily. You know what I'm saying? But she did say a whole lot right there. And shout out to this comment right here. Shout out to I forget this guy's name, but Unicorn 151. He said childhood trauma, pain, fear, and avoidance masked by a beautiful smile and work. This is all cope. Wish Maya the best. Very compassionate comment, but she keeping it in a stack. So what she's telling you in so many words is that I have been terrified of relationships my whole life. Doesn't mean she wasn't fucking. When women talk like that, that usually means that they have an unhealthy relationship with sex, right? She never said she wasn't fucking. She just said that, that not even that. We don't know how many times she's been pregnant. Women live many different lives. Don't ever think that an attractive woman, don't ever think women in general, especially if she's fuckable, that she's not smashed. She's smashing somebody, bro. Women be wanting you to believe so many different things that it's actually ridiculous, man. And it's unfortunate that you always got to take everything with a grain of salt. But she represents that group of people, that generation, because her generation, the kind of like the Gen X generation, that was the generation that really fully embraced going against all norms and traditions and not really realizing that it's really like the generation of women that really embrace being fully chaotic, living only for yourself. And here's the thing, though. I mean, like, now I may speak to the benefits and the bad things that can happen when men, get into marriages and relationships and being a stepdaddy and this and that and whatnot. But at the end of the day, we all can acknowledge that it's a certain level of maturing and development that you do get from family. And I'm not saying that everyone has to be a mother and father. I'm not saying that at all. But there's a difference in you knowing it's not that or it just didn't work out for you or whatever it is versus you have managed to mask and inefficiency. Because listen, a lot of people who are not good at relationships, they're not good at sex and stuff like that. They won't tell you that. Like most people will not be direct with you about who they are and what their problems actually are. And I think to a certain degree, it's probably going over Mel's head. You know what I mean, so I'm gonna play a little more.
And so that's also very much fear filled, knowing that if I have to be gone 95% of the time and my work calls for me to travel, that must be intimidating. And I also can't show up properly for my significant other. But I'm also now spiritually aligned so much where I know that I'm surrounded by love everywhere I go, right? I'm not seeking. And I know that it will be granted to me in divine time. And I'm not worried about it because my life is full of love. And it comes in so many different forms.
That's the woman's. Now listen, that shit may sound fly. That is a woman's way of saying, I, she fucking on somebody. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Listen, let me tell you something right now. Women who are sexy and attractive are not trying to look sexy attractive to not pop that pussy on somebody. Okay, men gotta realize. Listen, there's what women want you to believe and want you to think, and the actual truth. Women put a lot of effort into making you think certain things about them, and you don't relate to it because you don't necessarily move that way, or you don't relate to that shit. That's the next level of maturity. That's why we want y'all to grow the hell up. The next level of maturity is being able to understand how you think and how the other person thinks, or being able to factor in. Okay, like for example, I put it like this: I have my friends over, we're hungry, and I say, you know what, I'm gonna order some food. Rather than asking my friends, hey, y'all like pizza? Y'all want burger and fries? Y'all want Chinese food and whatnot? I just order some food. Matter of fact, not only do I order some food, I order Indian food. And trust me, I have my black friends over. My hood black friends. I order Indian food. Now, mind you, it may be okay. They may be open to it. They probably going to throw it away, nothing like that, right? But that may cause some kind of discourse because I'm assuming that they all want Indian food, and Indian food is a very specific taste, especially if you don't have it on a regular basis or you never had it before, right? And you know how it is when it comes to ordering food. Ordering food is generally like a collaborative effort, and it's collaborative because you know that everyone doesn't want the same thing, and you're able to easily understand. Okay, you know we all might want something different. Let's find a place that we agree on. All right. Maturity, that's maturity versus you just saying fuck it. I'm just gonna order. Not now. I'm not gonna say pizza. I want to say something that is very specific. You know what I'm saying? It's like you saying, yo, I'm gonna order some falafels. I'm gonna order a whole pan of falafels, and we're gonna share some falafels. Nigga, it's falafels. Come on, bro. We're gonna play a little more, and we're gonna move on.
Not just one person. So I've had to recalibrate my brain and not, I think, govern my life off of this fantasy or illusion that we've all been indoctrinated by or taught by. But when you have a vision as well and you're fighting for, and so that's also very.
Also, when you hear people talk and give you an answer and they do not, especially when it pertains to your personal opinion, to your lifestyle, when people don't give you examples, I'm not saying they always lying, but that's usually a sign of bullshit. All right. Like, for example, she keeps saying my work, my work, my work. Now, of course, we assume that it's music. We assume, I think she's into, like, I guess some spiritual shit. I mean, I don't know. But we know Maya mostly for music. Actually, even right here, yo, she wearing like mad makeup right here, bro. But anyway, but we know Maya from the music, right? But she's not getting specific on what is that day like how, like what does that look like? You know what I'm saying? Because she kind of described the feelings that she just, how can I say, she was being very, very vague. Always pay attention to that shit when someone's trying to convince you of something. Because if someone can't give you concrete evidence or concrete examples or examples that you can understand, that's always suspect, beloved. You know what I mean? All right, man. We back, man. We back. Make sure the levels is right. We good. We good. Make sure the mic is right. We good. We good. We straight. We're blessed. Okay, let's get it. So David is back in the news. The singer David. Now this is all gonna come full circle because I want to talk to you guys about. Don't get me wrong. In his case in particular, I'm gonna lie. This story is really crazy. It's really on some OJ type stuff. I think David is like the modern OJ Simpson because for the most part,